So yes, and I'm Napoleon Bonaparte. She then goes on to ask to borrow $30 million to make a movie about her former self and King Arthur. Your reaction then might be a little shorter and to the point, but Hollywood moguls said yes to LaurelPhelan, and the film will soon be in production. Our entertainment correspondent Fern Britton took Laurel to Cadbury Hill in Somerset, said to be the site of Camelot, to find out more.
My life goes on.
Is this Queen Guinevere come home to Camelot? About 10 years ago, Canadian LaurelPhelan started to have nightmares about bloody knives and murder. In an attempt to cure herself, she had regression therapy, a type of hypnosis that supposedly takes you back to past lives. She found herself, she says, in the body of Guinevere, talking to men called Arthur and Merlin.
Did you never think for a moment, I'm going mad?
No, I didn't, because, again, it is a very real experience. What I didn't understand was why what I was seeing was so different than the legend.
The Guinevere that Laurel sees is a strong woman brought up to be a soldier by her father. She knew how to kill a man with a knife, and did. She loved maps and could plan a battle with brilliant military precision. But what was her day-to-day life like?
Guinevere spent most of her time, of course, in her map room poring over her maps. But on a day like today, she would certainly be out riding on her horse. She was a very skilled horsewoman. The sun in the afternoon was very important because it created warmth. They obviously didn't have central heating, so afternoon sun. Her room and Arthur's room, of course, had the best view.
And what was the truth of Arthur, you, and Lancelot?
Arthur really was her great love. She didn't realize that for most of her life. She didn't realize that actually until he died. Lancelot was a poet, and he worshipped her.
Was Arthur a very jealous man then?
He turned his eye a lot of the time, but it got to a point in his life where he didn't turn his eye any longer and had Guinevere imprisoned for having affairs with a lot of his men.
Well, that's certainly not in the legend I know. What about all the other stories?
What was Excalibur?
Excalibur is a unique story because it's two Latin words put together. EXC is the beginning of one Latin word I'm not sure of. The second word is calibre, which meant a sword forged by iron and water. That's exactly what it meant. So all swords would have that name. It wasn't a magical sword.
And was Merlin a magic man?
No, Merlin was a very wise man. He was a counselor to Arthur and a writer, and he was writing a book of philosophy.
So, as myth after myth comes crashing before us, you can't help thinking that for a woman of 1500 years, she doesn't look too bad, does she? Hang on, what am I saying?
Because you're so plausible, and yet you could be fooling all of us, because this could be just a terrific spoof.
It would be wonderful. It would be, definitely, but it's not. And it's not important for me that everyone believe me.
And why should it be? Hollywood looks set to match the $15 million already raised to turn Laurel's story into a film. And keen to be in it are Helena